Hi everyone, Simon Keeling here. It's Wednesday, the 6th of November. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but my Movember moustache look, there it is coming through grey. Oh dear, that's a big problem for a middle-aged man, isn't it, when he sees his moustache coming through as grey. Still, never mind. You can donate to Movember on the Movember website and show your support for me and your commiserations. That's a realisation that when I now grow a moustache or a beard, it's actually going to be grey. Oh well, never mind. On with the forecast, eh? And it's been a distinctly grey day today. See what I did there? And this is a satellite picture from this afternoon. Look how much cloud there is showing up on this picture. Two layers of cloud, actually. Here's the lower one. Look, heading into southern parts of Scotland at 3 o'clock this afternoon. And look, another one overlaying that. You see the shadows that one's creating on the lower layer of cloud moving into the southwest during the course of the latter part of this afternoon. Best of the sunshine today, look, reserved across eastern Scotland. These lumps you can see here, this lumpy cloud, this is actually convective cumulus cloud that's been driven into the west of Scotland. Now, when you take a look at the GFS first off, or any other model, you look at it and think, well, actually, that's going to be temperatures around normal or above normal, fairly mild. But then when you look at the temperature graphs for the next few days, this is for the next week for London, you see the kind of roller coaster effect of temperatures. I mean, look at this fall off in temperatures as we head into the weekend. Then it picks up early next week for a time, but then we're off again. This is a real reminder that we're in the late stages of autumn now and that winter really is knocking on the door. Indications of a really cold day to come on Saturday, and possibly being pretty cold through most of Sunday too. So get ready for that one. It's only a couple of day wonder, but it's definitely there. The chart for Belfast less dramatic, but nonetheless showing the cooler temperatures here as we head into the weekend, then tending to pick up early next week before falling off again through the course of next week. So certainly some cooler weather is on its way. And interesting just to take a look at the 10-day means of the 500 millibar flow. This is from next Wednesday through to Saturday the 16th. And what's interesting here is that both the ECMWF on the left here and the GFS on the right, both of them building in this ridge, look, these abnormally high heights across the UK and lower than normal heights up towards the north, and this strong jet stream as a result. So you would imagine quite a big area of high pressure to be centred down here and building into the UK. But when we take a look at the actual charts, it's not necessarily showing that. Here's the comparison. This is for the 16th of November, midnight next Friday going into Saturday. This is the ECMWF, shows high pressure down here to the south, low pressure up here towards the north. Now, there is a front on this chart as well, which would probably be through, where would it be? It's going to be down through there's something of that order. So we're in a warm sector, certainly, so you would expect to see sort of cloud and rain and bits and pieces of drizzle affecting much of Scotland. But the south of the country, with pressure there at 1,032, probably would be generally dry, some good sunny spells away from western coasts, and generally dry as well. So quite a big high there that we saw on the height anomalies as well, on the height anomalies, I should say, on the chart previously. But then when you look at the ECMWF ensemble for the same time, look, this again is for midnight on the 16th, and there's our low pressure to the north. Here's our high pressure down to the south, but look, pressure instead of 1,032, 12 millibars lower at 1,020, and it certainly makes much more of this feature. So what it's trying to do is that front that we saw is actually, drawing this on the fly, is actually kind of somewhere, no it's not, it's like that. So again, warm sector, but that would lend itself towards Scotland and northern parts of Ireland being wetter, rain affecting northern England as well, perhaps some low cloud and some patchy rain across northern coasts of northern Wales, and generally dry, yes, towards the south, but that pressure nowhere near as high with quite a brisk west wind. Then look at the Canadian GEM for the same time. The highs further east, the lows further east, the highs down towards the south, and the fronts are basically completely different. I mean, we've got a front that's kind of trailing out here somewhere. There would be some sort of wraparound feature in there as well, and what we'd find here is a colder west to west northwesterly flow across the country, windy across Scotland. There you find wintry showers across the hills, but the frequent showers elsewhere. And down to the south, pressure is higher, so it'll be drier, but much cooler than the other models suggest. And then the GFS ensemble looking something like this. Looks still high pressure down to the south, low pressure off towards the north. The front is, where's the front? It's kind of through this sort of zone here. So it's shown a warm sector again, but that would bring cloud, it would bring rain through Scotland, Northern England, Northern Ireland, but dry down to the south. So there is a discrepancy between the models about how vigorous this high building in from the south actually is, and I think probably what we have to say is there is still this tendency for drier weather to come in during the middle to the end section of next week, particularly across the southern half of the country, although across Scotland, across Northern Ireland, there I think still these periods of rain, but down to the south it's a getting drier picture. But it's not a classic anticyclonic picture, so it's not a case of high pressure building through the country, you know, and we're going to get frost and fog. I just don't see that. I think it's more a case of the high building in and us going under sort of more anticyclonic conditions, but in terms of drier weather overall, rather than dry frost and fog. And the NAO shows that it stays positive, really, through the next couple of weeks at least. Yes, it drops negative right at the very end here, but generally, look, you see how it's forecast to be staying in that positive territory, indicating those westerly winds keep going across the Atlantic and little chance for the high to get built. And the Arctic oscillation is very similar as well. Look, it stays as a positive, and that indicates that the westerly winds around the poles tend to stay in position, which gives very little opportunity for the colder air to drain south of the poles. So there is undoubtedly a change in the forecast for this latter part, for the middle to the latter part of the month. I mean, we were talking about the possibility of an area of high pressure building across the UK or to the east, and we do still need to watch out for that, but we were talking about that, but it looks like the risk of that has kind of drifted away a little bit, and it's more into higher pressure rather than high pressure dominating things across the country. And with that westerly flow, it would tend to stay relatively near normal or relatively mild, with a lower risk of frost and fog. It could all change. You know, we have to go through the models day to day, don't we? Take a view in it, as you know that we do here, and just see what's going on. As I say, it could all change. At the moment, I think we're best sticking to this idea of pressure building, as I've just said in the forecast. So I think we do need to stick with that one for now, but we need to just keep our eye on things for any changes that might take place. In fact, we're just looking at the latest CFS, and that's backing up the idea again of this high just being a very short-lived affair, even if it did manage to build it. So hopefully that's been useful for you. Thanks again for watching weatherweb.net. Don't forget about the Movember donations, and me and my grey moustache are now going to go away and, well, just have a cup of tea, because that's what you do at my age. Thanks again for watching, and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.